October owns a special place in the hearts and minds of whitetail hunters. Homebody bucks have not yet begun to venture far from their core areas, but at the same time, they do begin to move more freely in daylight hours. Early in the month, evening hunts outperform mornings, but now that scale is beginning to slide. Mornings are getting better. Bucks are on their feet longer and often make one last victory lap before bedding down. The weather's beginning to cool, bringing with it a surge in daylight activity. On October 23rd, Mike Reed hopes to take advantage of a brisk Iowa morning.
It's Saturday, October 23rd, and Ryan and I are set up on the home farm. Our first hard frost of the year, about 32 degrees today with basically no wind. We're supposed to have a really light north wind, and it's going to switch to east later in the morning. We made a little move. I'm trying a new spot. Did a hanging hunt this morning. The cherry tree plot is just a few hundred yards up the hill there on the other side of that timber. We're just back in this one of these little fingers in the alfalfa field, this kind of the bottom of this bowl. And I think Chubbs is bedding sometimes in this little part of the bowl. We filmed him come out of this quite a bit in the summer. And then yesterday morning was the first time I've ever had him on this camera, but he was walking up this little lane back into the bedding area yesterday morning about 9 o'clock. Last night I had him on camera on the field edge up there heading out to cut corn. So we'll see if we can't catch him coming back in here. I'm excited for this spot just to learn something new. I've never hunted right here. It's a good morning for calling. The sound will carry a long way, and we got a real big deep ditch behind us, so I think as long as you're out in front of us, we ought to do pretty good. Looking forward to the morning. There's no way she's by herself. Yeah, what a great looking deer. Might as well at least run the GoPros here. That's a pretty deer right there. Man, he is all over the place. That was a cool encounter. That's a 4-year-old that I've been getting pictures of running around the farm. Real framey deer. It just looks so beautiful coming in. And he popped out. The top part of the alfalfa is up there, and then there's this little strip of timber that's pretty thick, and they just come through that top part of the alfalfa and down in the air. He popped out behind a doe, kind of nudging her, worked a scrape down there. Our wind is blowing to from the north here. And it looked like he got our scent. I know the wind was good. I bet with all this moisture on the ground, this frost, we actually walked in through the alfalfa this direction because I didn't want to come around the back and risk bumping Chubbs. I think they were feeding out there. So I came under the cherry tree and I cut down through here. We didn't bump a single deer coming in, but a lot of times with this moisture, heavy moisture on the ground, your ground scent will sit there. And I bet, it looked like he looked up that way. So I bet he got some of our ground scent. We need the sun to come up and burn some of this off, and then we'll be good to go. But we also saw that really nice 3-year-old lopsided 10. 2 great bucks. And hopefully the movement continues here.
50 miles to the southwest, Grant Noble is making his first sit in a new stand, hoping to see similar activity.
Alright, well, it is October 23rd, and Max and I are set up on one of our new permission farms. We were talking this morning, and this is probably one of our favorite sets that we've sat in this year. It's just like a big oak ridge to our south. It's an old cattle lot is what it is, and it's kind of overgrown here to our north, so we haven't really ran too many cameras on it yet or anything. We got a few out. We've got one mature deer. I don't think I would shoot him, but definitely don't know what all is out here for sure, so the anticipation is kind of fun. But a cool, crisp morning, feels really good. We got a bean field out here, and we got some real thick timber over here, so hoping we just catch these deer cruising in and out of this thick stuff. But you can definitely see a long ways, and I'm excited to see what we see.
He's like definitely 2-year-old.
And then like a dove fawn, maybe. Those bugs are not touching that dove. There's like 2 or 3 bugs right there. What deer is that?
I think he smoked him. He looks like a tank.
He looks, I don't know what deer that is. What in the world just happened? You couldn't ask anything better. Right there. I cannot believe that just happened. Max and I have been covered up in deer for like the past hour. It's crazy. We thought the movement was going to be pretty early, but they didn't even start moving till like 8:30 around here. We were filming this doe out here in front of us, and Max said that there was a buck either chasing a doe or just running across this bean field out in front of us. And like 2 minutes later, we could see that deer coming up the road right here. And I just had to make a split second decision, and his body looks good. I don't really know exactly what deer that is. Like I said before, Max and I have been running cameras out here for maybe 2 weeks, and we only have a couple cameras out, so that's definitely a deer that I don't know, but I'm excited to have him on the ground. So we're gonna pack things up, get down, and see what we got. Knock broke off. Is that him right there? There he is, right there. He's got a toad of body.
Somebody spotted your house.
All right, guys, well, we got them all cleaned up. This morning was just one of those mornings that it was just a classic fall morning. It was crisp, cool. You know, we're at that time of year where mornings are really starting to get good. Max and I actually made our second morning sit this morning, and we didn't really have any deer movement until about 8:30, and as soon as that 8:30 hit, I mean, they were just all over us. And we saw this guy out in a bean field chasing a doe, and he came up the road and gave me a perfect shot. It was one of those situations where, you know, you just got to make a quick split-second decision. Like I said in last week's show, Max and I have kind of struggled a little bit with gaining permission here in Iowa since we moved here. And so we kind of made it our mission this year to just get some tracks that a little bit closer to home that we can hunt. We finally got a few pieces. I feel like a lot of people tend to kind of gravitate towards bigger chunks of property, and we've been focusing on the smaller chunks that maybe people overlook and don't have permission on yet. So we're focusing on these properties that are really less than 100 acres. Like this one here is only about 80 acres, and we actually acquired it 2 weeks ago, and I made one sit on it a couple nights ago, north side of the creek. Just had pretty slow deer movement. So this morning we decided to make a sit on the south side of the creek and had a much better hunt. This neighborhood just looks really good in here, and we knew that it was going to be good hunting in here. You know, to come in here and kill a buck on a brand new permission piece that you've never hunted before, you never really hunted the area before either, is just awesome. But man, I'm pumped. This stuff never gets old. We got some good weather coming in, so hopefully the team can get out and have some success. Thank you guys for watching.
As Grant celebrates his first punch tag of the season, Mike remains on stand at the home farm and experiences the same late morning flurry.
Well, it's about 10 o'clock. We're gonna start packing up and get out of here. Overall, really good morning. Ended up having that 3-year-old ape come by that we filmed the other night, and another doe and a button buck. Overall, I was happy with the morning sit. That one 4-year-old is a beautiful deer. I'm excited to see what he turns into next year. We got east winds for like the next 6 hunts, which I don't particularly love east wind, but anyway, we're gonna game plan, and then we'll see you guys back this afternoon.
On the afternoon of October 23rd, Jared Mills heads to a redneck blind on the river farm. He overlooks standing beans with the hope of seeing Dak, or the legendary buck called Merino.
Alright, it's afternoon of October 23rd, and we had some good luck today. I got to go help Max and Grant recover Grant's buck, so hopefully we can keep that train rolling. It was good to break the ice. Ethan and I came to the river farm. We're sitting in a redneck tonight, and a couple reasons. One, we have a couple decent east wind spots on this property, but Mike is also here with Rye, and they are hunting the pinch along the river, which is a solid spot for an east wind. But two, if there's one thing I've learned in my entire hunting career, to never trust an east wind, and that's a big reason why we're in the blind, and it's already proven true. Walking in, it was blowing out of like the southwest, I think. Hopefully be a good little observation sit and be able to see this entire bean field. Hoping for a good night of movement. The conditions are still pretty solid, nice and cool. Had heavy frost last night. Rain coming in tomorrow. We'd love to lay eyes on Merino tonight. Another adult doe. Oh, it's a big framed 4-year-old, I think. Man, he looks good.
Despite solid deer activity, darkness closes in on Jared without a sighting of either target buck. Just 200 yards away, Mike also experiences great movement, but without sign of a shooter. Mike and Jared were not the only two experiencing good activity on the evening of the 23rd. 740 miles to the northeast, in New York, Anne France and boyfriend Josh are in the tree hoping to fill Anne's first tag of the season. The highlight of the afternoon is a blood-pounding encounter in which Anne delivers a well-placed arrow on a beautiful New York 8-pointer.
You killed him. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, babe.
Jared spends the morning of October 25th in the Iowa hardwoods hoping for pre-rut activity. He ends the morning by harvesting a doe that will fill the freezer and feed his family for the coming months. Later that day, Jared makes his way to the river farm with a John boat in tow, planning to sneak in the back door of the peninsula. The secret approach will produce undetected entry, resulting in what Jared hopes will be a mature buck encounter.
Everything packed in first. Come on, trolling motor. Don't let us down.
Doing pretty good.
Alright, we ain't even moving.
Oh, that's just the water moving.
We're not even moving. Plan B.
While the backdoor river access proves problematic, 120 miles to the southwest, Owen Riegler is on stand, still looking to fill his first buck tag of the season.
Well, guys, we're gonna make this short and sweet. We've got a little buck in the plot already. We're seeing some early movement. We had two little bucks behind the house when we left, and it was only like just a little after 3, so obviously the conditions are right. Today it's only 49 degrees, October 25th. We've got a wind that sets up perfect for this. It's a north-northeast, which takes it just the other side of this draw out in that CRP. There's no real bulletproof wind for this set, but this is about the best one you can get, so we're after that split G2 buck, or we could see Wolverine here. This is kind of his core as well. He's been on that robbing post right there quite a few times. Anyway, we're gonna get settled in. We'll see how it goes.
While Owen waits for either of two bucks, those he calls Wolverine and Split G2, Jared admits defeat in the attempted river access and settles for Plan B.
Alright, it is October 25th, and it has been an eventful day to say the least. And this afternoon I have really good conditions and had plans to try to get in the back of the peninsula, on the back side of it, with this wind. And I was really looking forward to that sit, but I was going to try to get in by boat so that it was basically bulletproof. I didn't have my trolling motor. I think it got stolen, so I borrowed one. It was a little bit older one, and what I didn't think about was the fact that we got about 3 inches of rain yesterday, so the river was just ripping. So Matt and I decided, even though the trolling motor wasn't even moving the boat at all, we thought we could power upstream by using the oars. And we probably wasted an hour of our time doing that. Not only that, just got all sweaty and tired and frustrated. So we floated back downstream to the ramp, loaded up, drove around, and walked into the stand with less than an hour left to hunt now. But it did take a while. There were deer in the plot when we got here. But this plot screen did exactly what plot screen is supposed to do. It helped us get in without bumping these deer, and had a little buck come out and chase the doe and the fawn out of here, and we were able to get in. So that's the one thing that's gone right so far. But we're getting close to that good time of year. It's pretty much all things go right now. The weather matches up. There's no reason we shouldn't have a good sit unless we did some damage that we don't know about coming in, but we'll sit and enjoy this last hour. She's got marked right in here. You have no bow. That's awesome. Escort him out of there. Gosh, we could snort bees right now and get that book. He's gonna come through the path. Yep. Go ahead. Got him. Yep. He's grunting. So cool.
Back on Owen's farm, the afternoon hunt is off to a great start.
Two-year-old buck that kept scraping, I thought for sure he was going to call this bigger buck in. I wasn't going to shoot him anyway, but I suppose he's probably 4. He looked like he could be 3, really. Nice solid rack on him, though. Man, this action is like November 7th right now, not October 25th. Chasing everywhere, bucks everywhere.
Owen's evening is filled with feeding, chasing, and above average deer movement. It is everything you want to see in late October. Everything that is, except a shooter buck. Sunset closes this action-packed day for the team, lifting spirits and creating excitement across the board.
I love seeing that kind of sign. Look at that, it's just torn to pieces. Scrapes getting hammered. Just gets you fired up. Alright guys, we're back for the afternoon hunt here. It's 3:53 right now. We're after that Stickers buck. He's been down in this area quite a little bit. So hopefully we'll see him tonight. This edge is torn to pieces right here, scrape after scrape, and then coming in, I guess you guys saw that scrape there. That's all torn to pieces, fresh, so they've been using it. That's a good sign. We got about 3 hours to sit in here. We'll see how it goes. Well, we got to see our target buck. That part was fun, but that didn't play out like we were hoping. He started down this edge right here. It looked like he was going to walk this edge. He was hitting scrapes one after another. And I thought, well, we just about had him at the taxidermist when he was on his way. Then all of a sudden he just stopped, held up right there for like 5 minutes or more. And then we had this doe popped out. And she really handcuffed me when he did cross the creek there. I was like, I don't know if I can call with this doe. She's going to raise Cain, so I figured I had one chance over there. What call am I going to use? Tried to snort wheeze, and another deer ran off just after that, so at any rate, he didn't care for it, and over the hill he went. Encounter number 1 adds to the saga. We'll be back. We're not done with you yet, Stickers.
Although the Stickers buck leaves in a hurry, Owen knows the deer's increased daylight activity will likely present another opportunity. Darkness provides time to regroup and a chance to draw up a new plan. 200 miles to the south, Mitch Niebuhr is in Missouri, hoping this spike in pre-rut activity will help him fill his first tag of the season.
Hey guys, we are still down here in northern Missouri. Colin's behind the camera right now. It's super windy out. We've been settled in for a while here, but figured we'd maybe see if the wind was going to calm down. It hasn't, so we're going to give it a shot anyway. What we have here is we have a east-southeast wind, and we're sitting on a CRP edge, kind of in a fence line where a couple fence lines come together, and we're hoping for bucks that are out to the north of us and to the east of us, and anything to the east of us and south of us is going to work their way back in here, or be kind of checking the CRP field for maybe hot doe. It's for what we're used to in Minnesota, it's a little unorthodox. And Yeah, what? You see what's creeping? Made like a 10-yard shot, and the shot felt good. Hopefully we're gonna take a look at her here, but it sure felt good, sounded good. Tell me it sounded good. Did it look good? Okay. All right, guys, series of up and downs here today. As you can obviously see, we end up finding this buck that we arrowed this morning. And I gotta thank Cub for pretty much all of this, honestly. I mean, between my boys and everything, I've been so busy and haven't put a lot of time into prep or anything like that other than coming down here. And Cub's been running cameras and buying all the cameras and everything else. And this one goes out to him for sure. We're gonna get this guy gutted out and get him back up to camp and probably have a cold one in his honor.
We're getting close to that good time of year. It's pretty much all things go right now. The weather matches up. There's no reason we shouldn't have a good sit. Just escort them out of there. Gosh, we could snort these right now. Get that book.
What deer is that? I think you smoked.
Max and I have kind of struggled a little bit with gaining permission here in Iowa since we moved here. And so we kind of made our mission this year to just get some tracks a little bit closer to home that we can hunt.
Man, this action is like November 7th right now, not October 25th. Chasing everywhere, bucks everywhere.
If accompanied by cool conditions, the late October pre-rut can provide legendary hunting. The bucks busy themselves trying to cut the trail of the first hot doe, making them increasingly vulnerable. As the leaves lose their grip and drift lazily downward, the forest floor gets a fresh covering and the naked trees produce better visibility. We are now just a week away from the greatest month of all, just a few short days from when we will be chasing November.